Sister texted, "You're not invited to the wedding. Goodbye, loser." Added a heart emoji. I replied, "Perfect. Then I'll remove my payments from the account." They kept joking in the group chat, but by morning, everything had changed. I'm sad to share this particular story from my life, but here it is. It's about the moment my sister decided I wasn't good enough to be part of her wedding after I practically built it from the ground up, and how that one text message set off a chain reaction that none of them saw coming. Not her, not my parents, not her, even me. It happened on a random Thursday while I was at Target. I wasn't looking for anything important, just walking around after work to clear my head. I had a basket with a few candles and some protein bars in it. I wasn't thinking about Amanda or the wedding or the fact that I hadn't heard from her in a few days. Everything seemed fine. Then my phone buzzed. It was the group chat we'd made for the wedding, the one called Family Wedding Crew Ring. I opened it, expecting to see something about the rehearsal dinner. Maybe a question about table runners. Instead, I saw 5 words that didn't make sense at first. "You're not invited. Goodbye, loser." Just that. No context, no explanation. My sister Amanda sent it like she was ordering coffee. And right below that, my mom added a heart emoji. Not even a sentence, just a heart. Some twisted seal of approval. I stood there frozen in the middle of the snack aisle, rereading it over and over again. I waited for someone to say it was a joke or that Amanda's phone had been stolen or hacked, but no one did. The chat went silent. I put the basket down on a random shelf and walked out of the store without saying a word to anyone. That night, I didn't respond. I watched. A few hours later, they were back to chatting in the group like nothing had happened. Amanda posted some TikTok of a bride laughing. My mom wrote, "So true, all." My dad said, "Finally, no drama." That was when I knew it wasn't a mistake. They meant it. Out. After everything I had done, they forgot, though. I was the one paying for most of it. The venue, my credit card, that $2,000 dress, Amanda was obsessed with. I put down the deposit. Flowers, tasting menus, calligraphy invitations, and even the damn cake samples. All me. Amanda always said she'd pay me back after the wedding gifts started rolling in. My parents said they'd contribute when they could, but they never did. I'd been keeping receipts. Literally. Finally replied, "Perfect. Then I'll remove my payments from the account." No one took me seriously. Amanda posted a meme of a money gun. Mom replied, "Don't be dramatic, sweetie." Dad threw in a thumbs up like we were talking about paint colors, so I stayed quiet. I made some calls. The venue canceled immediately. The deposit was under my name. Same with the florist. The caterer needed a little convincing. But once they saw my name on the contract, they dropped the order. The dress boutique was the only one that hesitated. Amanda had already been in for a fitting, but when I reminded them I'd paid the deposit and hadn't signed off on the alterations, they agreed to put a hold on everything. By 11 a.m. the next morning, The wedding was gone. 12:22 m. Amanda messaged me. What did you do? I didn't answer. Then came the flood. My mom said I was ruining everything. Amanda told me I was mentally unstable. My dad said this was exactly why they didn't want me involved in the first place. They sent 18 messages in 10 minutes. At 3:36 p.m., Amanda went quiet for a moment. Sent this. You have 1 hour to fix this, or I'll tell everyone what you did to Ryan. That made me laugh, not because it was funny, but because it showed just how desperate she was. She was throwing threats now, hoping something would stick. I took a screenshot, blocked her. Amanda thought she could cut me out and keep everything I gave her. My parents thought I'd back down if they ignored me long enough. They didn't realize I'd finally reached the end of what I was willing to tolerate. They wanted a wedding without me. Good. Let them try to have one without my money. The first few days after I canceled everything were surprisingly quiet. I thought there would be more fireworks, but instead it was like they went into damage control mode, or maybe shock. Amanda unfollowed me on everything: Instagram, Facebook, even Venmo. My mom sent me a 2-paragraph message saying she was disappointed in how I'd handled things and hoped I'd come to my senses before it's too late. My dad sent me a YouTube link to some video about forgiveness. I didn't watch it. They stopped short of begging. I think they were still convinced I'd crack, that I'd feel guilty, that I'd wake up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat and send an apology text with a crying emoji and a merkus, promise to pay for everything again. But I didn't. I was done. A week later, Amanda posted a picture of herself in a different wedding dress. It was clearly off the rack. She looked pissed. The caption was something like, "New dress." The other one was cursed anyway. Face with rolling eyes. The comments were full of her friends hyping her up, saying how stunning she looked, that this one was so much more her. But I noticed the likes were low. A lot lower than usual. That night, around 10 p.m., I got a call from my Aunt Kathy. She didn't even pretend to make small talk. She said Amanda was telling people I'd had a breakdown and that I tried to ruin the wedding because I was jealous. Said my mom was claiming I was unstable and had been causing problems for years. I could hear the discomfort in her voice. She didn't believe it, but she didn't want to get in the middle. Then she asked the question I knew was coming. Did you really cancel everything? I told her yes, and that I wasn't sorry. She was quiet for a second, then just said, "Wow. Well, good for you." Word started spreading after that. My cousin Sarah messaged me 2 days later asking if it was true that Amanda and Ryan were trying to throw together a backyard wedding now that they couldn't find a venue on such short notice, that the florist had refused to work with them without me. I didn't respond, but I started getting texts from numbers. I didn't recognize Brian's mom, Amanda's bridesmaid, a random second cousin. Hadn't talked to me in 5 years. All trying different tactics. Flattery. Even fake confusion. "Hey," I Heard there was a mix-up with the planning. Okay. Amanda said you were stepping back. Do you want me to help smooth things over? So, sorry about the drama. We all know how weddings are. I ignored everyone. 3 days before, what was? I'm supposed to be the wedding date, my mom showed up at my apartment. I didn't answer the door. She stood outside for almost 15 minutes. I watched her through the peephole. She rang the bell twice, then left. 10 minutes later, she texted me, "Please just talk to us. This can still be fixed." I stared at that text for a long time. I thought about the years of being treated like a wallet with legs. The way they always expected me to help out because I had a steady FERS job and no husband or kids. The way they used me over and over and called it love. Then I deleted the message. Let up them figure it out. The wedding was off track. Their budget was gone and the ask clock was ticking. They wanted to push me out. Now they could see how far they got without me. 2 days before the .me wedding, I got a Venmo request from Amanda. $7,800. No message, no contacts, just the number, like I was a wedding sponsor who forgot to send in her donation. I declined it. 10 minutes later, another one came through. Same amount. Still nothing. Written. I declined that one too. And this time, I blocked her on Venmo completely. That made it real. I think that's when the shift happened. You could feel it like the last thread snapped. Later that afternoon, a text came in from an unknown number. I didn't open it right away. I let it sit there while I cooked dinner, watered my plants, poured a glass of wine. When I finally read it, I wasn't surprised. It was Amanda. I know you're mad, but you've made your point. We're already locked into things. Everything just ruins it for me. Please, don't destroy my future just to get revenge. That last line. Don't destroy my future, like I was the one swinging the wrecking ball, as if they hadn't kicked me out of the group chat and humiliated me in front of our family and friends, as if they hadn't laughed when I said I was pulling out. I didn't reply. I blocked the number. That evening, I got a call from the venue, the one Amanda had loved so much. She cried during the tour. The woman on the phone was calm but direct. Someone had called claiming to be me, asking to reverse the cancellation when she asked for ID verification over email. Hung up. She just wanted to let me know she'd flagged the file. I thanked her. She didn't ask questions. They were trying to undo the damage quietly, but everything had been in my name. Every signature, every email, every payment, confirmation. I'd handled it all, and now they were scrambling. The next morning, my inbox had a long email from my dad. Subject line, "Let's fix this," he opened, with a soft apology, the kind you write when you're trying to manipulate someone without sounding like it. He said, Amanda's words had been impulsive. Tensions had been high. That the message wasn't meant to hurt me, even though it clearly had. Understood my frustration, but that I needed to see the bigger picture. Still have time to make this right. He wrote, as if I was the one who had ruined something sacred. He ended it with a vague promise to pay me back after the dust settles. That part made me laugh. There was no dust anymore, just debris. Later that day, Amanda posted something on her Instagram story, a black and white selfie. No makeup, sad eyes, holding a coffee mug. Over it, she'd written, "The worst kind of betrayal always comes from the ones closest to you." She didn't tag me. He didn't have to. Everyone knew. The messages started coming in like a wave. Old college, friends, distant cousins, people I'd spoken to twice in 10 years suddenly, crawling out of the woodwork. "Hey, I heard there's drama with the wedding. Hope you're okay. Not my business, but people are talking and I wanted to check on you." Amanda's saying some pretty intense stuff. Just wanted your side before I respond. I ignored them all. Meanwhile, the insiders kept feeding me updates. My cousin Sarah called me from her car, whispering like she was leaking classified intel. The backyard wedding. The idea had collapsed. The neighbor called. The city, after seeing all the folding, chairs in a giant tent being put up without a permit. A fire marshal had stopped by and shut it down. The catering company had blacklisted Amanda's name after she tried to use my old invoice as proof she had an account with them. The dress shop wouldn't release the gown unless the rest of the stay balance was paid. No one had that kind of money on hand. And apparently Ryan, her fiancé, was this close to calling the whole thing off. He told a groomsman, "If this is what marrying her family looks like, maybe I need to rethink things." Then came the message that changed everything. Popped up in the group chat. I never left. I don't think they realized I could still see it. My mom. "We can't do this without her." "It's not possible, Manda." "So what?" "We just beg her. Dad, we offer to pay her back. She'll come around. She always does." That line stuck with me. Does. Like I was some vending machine. You just had to kick hard enough to get what you wanted. I didn't answer. I just watched them unravel from a distance. They thought I was a soft touch. They thought all it would take was a guilt trip and some fake apologies to get the core money back. But this wasn't like before. They wanted to use me like a credit card, with feelings. Not this time. Wedding was 2 days away. No venue, no vendors, no dress, and no backup plan. They burned the bridge and stood on the ashes, waiting for me to rebuild it for them. And I just walked away. By the morning of what would have been Amanda's rehearsal dinner, the silence was eerie. No new messages, no calls, no accidental group chat updates. For the first time in weeks, my phone was completely still. That's how I knew something was coming. They weren't done. They were regrouping. I spent the day pretending not to care. Grocery run, coffee, laundry. Underneath it, I could feel it building. You don't grow up in a family like mine without learning to sense when a storm's about to hit. It came at 6:42 p.m. A knock at my door. So deliberate. Kind of knock you mistake for a batter neighbor. When I looked through the peephole, I froze. She looked nothing like herself. Her hair was a mess. eyes were red, and she was holding a plastic grocery bag in one hand. Didn't open the door. I just stood there, watching her. After a minute, she spoke through the door. "Jane, please. I know you can hear me." I didn't answer. He started crying. Real tears, the kind that don't sound rehearsed. She said Ryan had left the night before. Apparently, he'd packed his things after their last fight. Something about how he didn't want to start a marriage in debt to her sister. She said their wedding planner, the replacement one she'd hired, in a panic, had bailed that morning, too. Then she said something I didn't expect. "I know you hate me, but please, I can't go back to Mom's. They're blaming me for everything." That made me pause. I opened the door halfway. Amanda looked smaller somehow. Not just physically. But like she'd lost the ASEA armor she always wore. He handed me the grocery bag. Inside was a stack of quite two envelopes, all rubber banded together. Receipts, contracts, canceled checks, my handwriting on everyone. She said Mom had found them in her drawer, the ones she used to organize the wedding, finances, and told Amanda to bring them to me to show I wasn't owed anything. But when Amanda opened them, she realized something. Most of those family contributions, she thought, Mom and Dad made, they were fake duplicates. I'd paid every single one. She said she hadn't known that Mom had told her I offered to cover everything because I was lonely and wanted to feel included. That was the unexpected part. They lied. But that Amanda actually looked like she believed what she was saying. She wasn't there to beg for money anymore. She was there because she'd finally seen it. We sat in silence for a while. She asked if I was happy now. I said, no. Didn't want revenge. I just wanted to stop being treated like the family. Credit card. Then the other shoe dropped. As we were sitting there, my phone buzzed. A new email from the wedding venue. Apparently, my mom had called them earlier that day, pretending to be my personal assistant, trying to convince them to reinstate the booking and charge it to my account again. Manager had caught on immediately. They traced the call number and attached it to the email as evidence, saying they'd flagged it for attempted fraud. Saw the email. Her face went pale. She whispered, "She really did that." I nodded. She didn't cry this time. She just stood up, said she needed to handle something, and left without another word. That night, I didn't hear from anyone. Not Amanda, not Mom, not Dad, until 2:07 a.m. My phone lit up with a message from my mom. One line, "Regret what you started." No heart emoji this time. And that was when I realized it wasn't over, not even close. The morning after I got that text from my doctor, "Mom, you'll regret what you started." I didn't feel fear or guilt like she probably hoped. I felt something else, something steady. I'd spent years trying to keep the peace, paying for things they couldn't afford, swallowing, comments, making space for Amanda's tantrums and our parents' excuses. This time, I was watching them flail from a safe distance, and I wasn't reaching in to pull them out. At 12:08 p.m., called. I let it ring once, then answered. She didn't start with an apology. She didn't even ask how I was. He got straight to the point. Ryan was still gone. He'd moved into his brother's spare room, said he needed time to think. The wedding was supposed to be the next day. Guest had canceled. The cake had melted in someone's garage. The dress was still being held hostage. There was nothing left but the name on the license. She said she was going through with it anyway. Just her and Ryan at a courthouse if he showed up. She said she didn't want anything else. No flowers, no music, no guests. Then she asked me if I would loan her the money, not give loan. I stayed quiet. She told me it wasn't a trick, that she'd seen the receipts. Realized how deep she was in the lie and how long our parents had been using both of us in different ways. She said she didn't know about the fake reimbursements, that she truly thought Mom and Dad had helped, and I had just offered to help more because I was bored or lonely. I told her to send me the number she needed. It came through later that evening. $2,600, just enough to get the license, a simple dress from some department store, and a cheap dinner with a handful of people who didn't know or care what really happened. I didn't respond that night. Instead, I pulled out my laptop and spent an hour writing a formal loan agreement, full amount, monthly payments. Interest not high, just enough to remind her it wasn't free, a due date each month. Late fees, legal phrasing, a clear consequence if she missed more than 2 payments. At noon the next day, we met at a diner somewhere neutral, somewhere no one knew us. She came in, looking small, no makeup, dark circles, wearing a hoodie with her hair in a bun. She didn't order anything. I slid the papers across the table. She didn't ask a single question. She read it once, then signed every page. No comments, no snark, just pen on paper. I wired the money right there in front of her. She didn't say thank you. She just folded the papers, put them in her purse, and walked out. The courthouse ceremony happened the next day. Ryan showed up, barely. They didn't post anything on social media. I only knew it happened because our Aunt Lisa forwarded me a fanned, blurry photo Amanda had texted her with. The caption, "We did it. Please don't ask questions." I figured that would be at the end of it until I got an invitation, emailed, not printed, to a celebration, a dinner at a local restaurant. No mention of the drama, just a vague, polite note about finally starting this new chapter. It was clearly thrown together last minute. I RSVP'd no, but I sent a gift. I had it delivered to the restaurant 10 minutes before the dinner started. Wrapped professionally, silver paper, white bow, no card. Inside the box was a down, framed 8x10 printout of the original venue deposit receipt. The one Amanda had begged me to pay for over the phone 6 months ago, swearing she'd pay me back as soon as she got wedding money. Taped to the back of the frame, a copy of the loan agreement, enlarged, heavy cardstock. Amanda's signature, highlighted in yellow. Interest rate, circled. Due date, underlined. It looked like a wedding announcement. If he didn't read closely, I wasn't there to see them open it. But I didn't need to be. By 9 p.m., I was getting messages. Cousin Paige texted, "Holy's asterisk, asterisk." That was ice cold. One of Amanda's friends sent me a laughing emoji. Even Ryan's brother followed me on Instagram. No one could pretend anymore. They laughed when I said I was pulling out. They told everyone I had a breakdown, that I'd ruined the family event. They made jokes in the group chat while they were spending my money. And now every person at that dinner saw who really paid for the wedding, who cleaned up the mess, who kept the receipts. Amanda started making payments the following month. Like clockwork, direct deposit. Never early, late, just quiet repayment of a debt that everyone at the table remembered. By the time Amanda's first payment came through, $237.65, direct deposit exactly on the 3rd, like the contract said. It didn't feel like victory. It felt like a quiet acknowledgement that the fantasy was over, that she knew I wasn't going to disappear this time, that the cleanup wasn't free, and she didn't try to spin it. No note, no apology, just money landing in my account. The silence from our parents was louder than anything Amanda could have said. After the blow up, whatever happened behind closed doors when she brought them receipts. I never heard from them again, not even a passive-aggressive text, nothing for my birthday. Not a single, "Hope you're doing well" message. It was like I'd been carved out of the family tree quietly and permanently. It was fine. I didn't need anything from them. What I didn't expect was how the rest of the family started shifting. First, it was subtle. A like on one of my Instagram posts from a cousin I hadn't heard from since college. Then, a forwarded meme from Aunt Lisa with no caption, just a weird peace offering. Eventually, they started reaching out. Lunch invites. We never really got to catch up. Check-ins disguised as curiosity. I didn't rush to reply. Them sit with the discomfort for once. But the one thing that kept coming up, over and over, always in whispers, always with a little awkward laugh, was the gift. That silver-wrapped box he had, delivered to the celebration dinner, took on a life of its own. Apparently, someone filmed Amanda opening it. Cousin's boyfriend caught it on his phone. No one expected it to be anything big, which is why the room went silent when she pulled out the framed deposit receipt and flipped it over to see the enlarged loan agreement. You could hear chairs scrape, glasses clink. Audibly said, "Oh my God." The video never made it online, but people passed it around in private messages like a family artifact. At a birthday party, 2 months later, someone I barely knew asked, "Wait, are you the one who sent the frame to the wedding dinner?" And when I said yes, she just grinned and said, "Iconic." Amanda never mentioned it, but she never threw it away either. From what I heard, Ryan made her take it down after they moved in together. Said it was bad energy. She shoved it into an box in the closet. But when our cousin, Paige, was helping her move, she saw it, still wrapped in the same silver paper, like it might be needed again. Amanda kept making payments on time every month. For the first few, they were completely silent. Just a number in my bank account. Then, on month 4, she added a note. Still paying, still. Remember. By month 6, it changed. Again. I know just that. It never became friendly between us. We never went back to being sisters in the way people expect. There was no holiday, reconciliation, no tearary hug over wine and forgiveness. Just this quiet, transactional rhythm we fell into. Her pain, me not answering. And honestly, that was more closure than I ever thought I'd get. My parents still don't talk to me. But I know they hear about me. Every time a family gathering happens. A barbecue, a baby shower, anything. Drama. Not the fight, not even the loan, the gift, the story that won't die. Talk about how cold it was, how calculated, how brutal. They say it like it's a bad thing. But the tone always shifts. When they realize I kept the ready receipts, literally. That I made them, remember. That I didn't scream. I didn't argue. I just sent a package. And they've been unpacking it ever since. Amanda will finish paying the loan in 16 months. There's nothing she can say to erase what happened. And I don't need her to, because the real debt isn't the money, it's the memory. And that one's mine to do.